going back to why you got so many interviews, I'm going to give you my theory because you talked about your resume and your cover letter. I think you got interviews because you were able to connect with a tremendous amount of people. Not only connect with a tremendous amount of people, you even offered value to those people. Like for me, for example, you offered to help me in whatever, right? You would look over my videos and send me like, hey, Ramsey, you had the wrong tag here, wrong tag there. SENY, you helped them out as well, if I recall correctly. And you, Chris White, you talked to many people, and many people, because they liked you, were rooting for you. So you did this tremendous amount of work of just reaching out to as many people as possible. And you reached out to me after you commented on my YouTube videos. You didn't come out of the blue, right? And maybe others don't have YouTube channels so people can comment on, but you can still reach out to people and comment on their LinkedIn posts, comment on whatever, and build that network. And after you built that network, you were not overbearing. You were not asking for stuff all the time. You were asking for feedback. You were asking for help, but you were asking like, hey, Ramsey, can you introduce me to that person over there? Or, hey, Clive, can you do that for me? No, you were offering as much help as you were asking for. And now you made everyone like you. You forced everyone to. I didn't want to like you. I don't know why, but you forced people to like you. And I guess I know this is I'm interviewing you, but this is what I saw over our 2-year relationship. Because you forced people to like you, people were rooting for you, and like I got you interviews, right? Akshat from SENY probably got you interviews. People were referring you all the time, right? And many people that I don't even know. Your network is probably bigger than mine, which is weird to say. But you did that, right? And that's what I'm trying to get to right now for people who want to. Yes, your resume. If your resume is horrible, someone refers you, and your resume is horrible, they're gonna bypass you, right? If your resume is acceptable, they'll still talk to you. If your resume is good, they would love to talk to you. But it's the referral that's most important. So if people are looking for an SE job, whether they're experienced, whether they don't even know what SE means. If you don't know what SE means, you should research. If you build your network and get people to like you, get people to root for you, provide value to those people, you will get the opportunities. Now, things will happen during the opportunity. Doesn't mean you're guaranteed a job. Like you went through interviews. Several of the ones that I referred you to, you got to the end and you either had an account manager who said, oh, I want someone with that sort of experience, right? Or the SE manager said, oh, that, we found someone a little bit better here or there. That's a different story, but at least you got there. That's the biggest hurdle, is getting there. And I don't know, I think you did a very good job with that. So what are your thoughts? Is my theory on the right track after talking for a half hour?
Yeah, no, because I want to bring this up to the people who are watching, who are listening, who are trying to get in the field, and or those who are just starting. They're actually it's their first year, whatever, and they forget this thing. Because I know I have some peers of mine who just got into the role, and they got to know this moving forward, man. Networking is the best thing to do. It should be number one on your list. Like two things: you should network and do it in the manner where you are a go-to-market person yourself. You are marketing yourself. You're doing the cold outreach as a business development person, doing those quick pitches and all that stuff like that. Then once you finally have them on a meeting, you're the account executive trying to sell yourself, who's the product. And then also, within the interview, you're being the sales engineer during the technical. And then, it's all about taking all those components and then being able to close. But networking is super invaluable because it's going to help you not just get a job. That's the problem. I think people's aperture, their scope of how they see things is it's not very visionary thinking. They're just all about, let me message. And you can tell that these people are just doing it just to get something for themselves. I think it was a John F. Kennedy quote, but there's plenty of other ones that talk about it, even the book called The Go-Giver. But it's all about just giving value, give value, just like Gary Vaynerchuk with the jab, 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 right hook book. But, it's about giving value. And again, I decided, yes, it was networking, selling myself, but also remember that it's not all about me. It's about the people who I'm connecting with.
So can I ask you this? Like, I have a YouTube channel. You provide value by kind of helping me with my YouTube channel, right? SENY has SENY. You provided value by helping them with that. If it's just someone you found on LinkedIn, what value can someone who's trying to break into sales engineering offer someone who is already a sales engineer in general? Like, can you give me an example of something like that?
Something that's kind of surface level. If you connect with someone on LinkedIn and they're a sales engineer, at least the first touch point would be to react to their things, like, comment, share. If you find it useful, at least do that without having to feel like you have to come up with your own posts or whatever, because it's at least giving value in that manner. It's also showing that you're supporting this individual. So that's like the first touch point there. The next thing after you built some kind of like touch point with that, you could then message them and be like, hey, I really appreciate your content. I was wondering if I can, get on a 30-minute call or a half-hour call, whatever, just to talk to you about this role, because I'm really interested in it and I would, potentially like to be in it. But it's not until after you've given value in that manner, like, comment, share. They're going to see it and they're gonna be like, wow, this person's constantly commenting, constantly liking, even sharing it. Man, that's great. Because if you just come in cold and say, hey, I just added you, I want you to get on the phone with me, I want you to get on a Zoom with me and talk to me about this, it's just like selfish. I'm sorry. People gotta stop being selfish. You gotta give first before you receive.
So if there's someone you like that you want to connect with, I would say before you maybe check out their profile and see if they post. It's easier. So it's much easier to connect with someone who's already putting themselves out there because they want to build their network, obviously, otherwise they wouldn't put themselves out there, than someone who hasn't been on LinkedIn in like 6 months. Right.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. If someone's highly influential, if they're of a stature that's high up there, say, I don't know, I could come up with some SEs they're just the guy that you have who works on AWS now, I believe, is a former Air Force airman guy.
Trevor Spires.
Trevor. I mean, anybody who's like grown to a certain level in their SE career is going to be leveraging LinkedIn. So I'm not going to reject this idea that you just said, but anybody who I want to connect with who's of influence is going to be pretty active on social media. So if I don't see him on LinkedIn, I found Trevor off of, I think, YouTube, I believe. Yeah. Was there, and he's like, oh shoot, yeah, you're on LinkedIn. And then, I found other people off of Twitter, and then LinkedIn. So I try to research these people. Again, this is like another BDR thing. I research people and see what they do, what they talk about, use it as a conversational piece, and try to help support them in that.